Hi, everyone, and welcome to another live stream narcissistic abuse recovery Q&A. Also, talking about love bombing today. Love bombing is something that every narcissist does, whether it's a parent. Normally, we hear about it in terms of intimate relationships. But it really is something that every narcissist engages in to hook you in. So that's what today's live stream is all about. Now, before we get going, guys, please do me a favor and hit that follow button and that subscribe button. It really helps to get these live streams out and about and get more people to see them, and of course to help more people to know that narcissistic abuse is a very, very specific abuse, and it's often very hard to articulate and define to other people, and it makes the victim feel crazy. So we want to have more people on board, more people listening and subscribing so that we get the word out and you guys feel like you've got more support. Don't forget, guys, also if you can share while we're live streaming, that would be amazing. Okay, so let's talk about love bombing and the fact that we feel like when we're being wooed and we've met the one in the beginning, relating to specifically intimate relationships at the moment, we feel like, we're on our own pink cloud. And myself being a professional counselor who specializes in supporting victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse, I speak to victims and survivors every single day who have been wooed in with what they now realize is a covert narcissist. And that's what I believe that most narcissists are. Most of the people, and I've spoken to thousands over the years in my practice, have described someone who would fit the bill of a covert narcissist. So let's just talk a little bit about, and guys, when you join, please say hi and let me know about whereabouts in the world you're tuning in from. And just comment your questions below in the comments section, and hopefully I'll see it if Instagram or YouTube doesn't make them float away, and I'll answer as many as I can today. But let's talk a little bit about the covert narcissist, because most people in society tend to think that a narcissist is someone whom you can see coming. You can see the narcissist coming because society typically thinks that a narcissist is loud and arrogant, and they brag a lot, and they're obnoxious, and basically you can pick them. So you're not going to be fooled by a narcissist because that would be obvious, right? And this is how the covert narcissist infiltrates your life so easily, because they are not like that. They have all the same traits as listed in the DSM-5, that pathological envy, the air of superiority, the lack of empathy, and the capacity to use and abuse others. They have all of that, but their abusive strategies are most of the time a lot more passive aggressive, and they can often be quite shy and introverted, and not what you would expect an abuser to be. And of course, what does an abuser look like? And really, there is no template for that, because and an abuser can be anyone, your next door neighbor, a family member, someone you work with who is abusing someone they purport to love behind closed doors. And the covert narcissist engages in exactly that behavior by wearing this mask for everybody else, and everybody else thinks that they're amazing. Charismatic, even very helpful and giving and kind. And one of the core traits of MPD, which you're rarely going to get a diagnosis for simply because they don't believe there's anything wrong with themselves. But one of those core traits is to be able to manipulate people and have you believe what they are telling you and what they're saying, because they gaslight, they lie, they blame shit, deflect, they engage in word salad. They do all of these things with such adamance and conviction that it confuses you, and it certainly pulls the wool over everybody's eyes who's on the other side of your closed front doors and is not seeing that very passive aggressive behavior. So guys, let me know where you're from. Just comment and say hi in the comments. And I'm just going to say a few highs. We've got, oh my goodness, we've got so many people here. We've got, they're all floating away. We've got Poppy Hippos just joined. Hi, Poppy. Tonya is there. Jules Fix is there. Justin Falber is there. Don't forget to let me know where you're from, guys, and put your questions in the comments section. Okay, first comment of the day. We've got LA Chick 82. Hello. Thank you for joining me. And they say, what are some techniques to correct the behavior? Because when you're an adult child of an abuser and you inherit those traits and you're trying to reverse it. Okay. So, LA Chick, what I'm hearing there, we've got Tangelia there. Heston is there. Hi, Tangelia. What I'm hearing there is that you're seeing some behaviors or having some experiences, some thoughts, some situations that remind you of your abusive parent. And you think to yourself, oh my goodness, I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be, toxic and manipulative. I don't want to carry on that, generational abuse. And I talk a lot about this in my book, Fake Love. I'll put a note in the comments, guys, of where you can get Fake Love, because everything I speak about today will be in my book. Now, when you are reflecting on those behaviors and they remind you of your abusive parent, well, number one, you have the capacity for introspection. You are reflecting on the behavior, and you think, I guess, like the rest of society thinks, that this is something that you've inherited, and that it's this genetic component to you that you're going to have to accept and as you said, try and reverse. But the truth is, LA Chick, is that every single child of a narcissist, and you're going to have more capacity to be, number one, cognitively aware and to reflect on that behavior when you're an adult. But every single child of a narcissist, an adult child, is going to have some experience where they go on autopilot and they engage in the very behavior they swore they would never do as a child when they experienced it. Beg your pardon, when their parent did that to them. They swore they would never do it. They don't want to be like that. And yet every adult child of a narcissist, a survivor, at some time in their life engages in some knee-jerk autopilot behavior that reminds them of that familiar uh, behavior pattern when they were growing up and will still be experiencing from the abusive parent. Why? Because it takes us till I think we're 25 years old till our brains stop growing. So what that means is for 25 years, your brain is like a sponge. You are absorbing all of the behaviors that are being role modeled to you. And they have even more importance when they come from the supposed most important male and female role models in your life. So these behaviors are being role modeled to you over and over and over again. And you're also absorbing that that's what people who love you do to you. This is what a relationship looks like, because if you're experiencing that from your parent and the next minute they're saying to you or they're telling everyone else how much they love you, well, that becomes your version of love, and those behaviors become your normal. You normalize them, you minimize them. But of course, when you become an adult and you have more ability to reflect on your behavior, you can see how toxic they were, and you don't want to be that person. Hi, Andrea. We've got Andrea from Canada is there. Hi, Andrea. Thank you for joining us. Now, if you are using the same behaviors and engaging in these knee-jerk reactions or just responses to certain situations that you absorbed for a lifetime, and you don't want to be that person, then what you're saying is that you, number one, have the ability to reflect. So you're certainly not a narcissist. You're not like your parent, but that you're a person who has been traumatized and can see that these are behaviors that they don't like, and they don't want to do that to anyone else, because you don't intentionally hurt people. So I just wanted to make that clear, that this is not something that you can't get support for, especially because you recognize those behaviors. And number two, it's not your fault. It's normal. But we don't want those abusive, familiar patterns of behavior that were role modeled to you as what a family looks like and how a family behaves. We don't want that to keep going on for you. So my suggestion to you and anyone else who is, having these, seeing these behaviors in themselves that were, reinforced to them, is get a trauma-informed narcissistic abuse therapist to work with you and to, I guess, break those conditioned responses and put time between when you respond to a certain situation and when that situation arises, because those behaviors, which I referred to as knee-jerk responses, they become autopilot. It's no different to, for example, an example that I use in my book, Fake Love, someone coming back from war, okay, and they've been traumatized. They've been constantly hypervigilant to danger. They have been walking on eggshells because they never know when the gunshots are going to start up again, or whether they're going to step on a mine. There's loud bangs all the time that has them hypervigilant to danger. When they come back from the war with number one, very terrible symptoms of complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which has them very, very triggered in certain situations, and constantly feeling like they're perhaps, just an example, under attack, because they were under attack, and now they still have those same responses to being having to be aware of an attack around the corner. They have very automatic triggered responses to loud bangs, a balloon pops, or fireworks or something like that. Now they'll crawl under a bed, have a massive panic attack, because they were conditioned to pair together loud bangs and fear of losing their life, being under attack. So it takes a lot of support and time to break those conditioned objects that have been, or situations, scenarios where those two things have been paired together to produce a conditioned reaction in the victim. So yes, my advice to you and everyone else is to get lots and lots of support, and please don't beat yourself up. Please don't come down on yourself. But you also need, if it's with an intimate partner, you also need to believe that it's safe to talk about these kind of situations with them. And it's also important to take it very slow in relationships, so that you do find someone who doesn't get defensive and will allow you the space to talk about why you have these conditioned responses to perhaps innocent situations. Another example from a trauma victim who's been under attack, constantly hypervigilant, needing to defend themselves because they never know when the attack is imminent. It might be something as simple as someone, a partner. Let's say the victim is a woman, and their partner, their spouse, says to them, oh, so you're wearing that dress out tonight. So just, curious, because they had maybe a few selections out there. A traumatized victim may jump to attention and nearly bite their head off with, why? Do you think I look fat in this dress? You hate it, don't you? And whilst this may be something that a narcissist would do, and does a lot, it's also something that would maybe a very innocent comment by someone who is just asking us because they're curious. But the response was your conditioned response, because you were always under attack and you had to defend yourself at every stage. So this is not just for children of narcissists, guys. This is something that you'll no doubt experience in any relationship. And I don't want you to beat yourself up when you have that conditioned knee-jerk behavior. Instead, give yourself the same grace you give everyone else, and talk to your partner. Say you're sorry. Someone who loves you will forgive you and will understand and help you to work through what caused those conditioned responses in the first place. In other words, looking at the not just the symptoms, but the cause of your trauma responses, and that's what they are, trauma responses. So I hope that's helped. Andrea says, it's shocking how far back the narcissistic abuse goes in my life. The cortisol release plays havoc on my body. Yeah, and that's something. Don't forget, you can comment and reply to each other, guys, and this live stream will be there forever. So you can comment back and forth and talk to each other. That's what's so beautiful about these communities. We've got Tiffany Phillips, or Phillips Tiffany's there. Hi, Tiffany. Thanks for joining us. But yes, Andrea, that cortisol, those are the horrible chemicals that are going through your body that make you feel so anxious when you're walking on eggshells and you're in that constant 24 hours a day state of fight or flight. It has you in the same state. If any of you have ever been in I don't know, some highly adrenaline pumping, seeking activity, like, I don't know, when did I feel like this? I was tricked. It was a surprise birthday present to just drop me at a skydiving thing and say, you're doing it. We'll see you in half an hour. And I had still do. It didn't cure my fear of heights, but I did it. But oh my goodness, the adrenaline and that fear that was pulsating through my body, and notice that, no doubt, the cortisol. If you can imagine it not being in that fearful anticipatory state, but rather fear of losing your life, being abused, where the cortisol is on overdrive. Imagine you're like I was, or any person is, before they jump out of a plane, and being in that state 24 hours a day, and how that impacts on your body. It makes you sick because your body's working harder to faster, to pump the body to your extremities. You're in a constant state of anxiety, predicting an attack around the corner. And yes, that cortisol makes you feel horrible. But the weird thing is that when you're trauma bonded to your abuser, and children become trauma bonded to their abusive parent as well, they become trauma bonded to the major highs, major lows, and the breadcrumbs of reprieve from the withdrawal, when they get those breadcrumbs, when the parent is pleased with them. Children also become trauma bonded. And I guess paradoxically, when you are in withdrawal from that chaotic, drama-filled environment, or you're even thinking about them abandoning you, in other words, being in withdrawal from that environment of highs and lows, the constant cycle of chemicals, with cortisol followed by a reprieve with a little bit of dopamine when they give you the breadcrumbs, and the cortisol, adrenaline, followed by the dopamine, serotonin. This toxic cycle of chemicals is physically, literally addictive, and you crash just thinking about it, or you want to avoid that crash, like a heroin addict does when they think of their drugs being flushed down the toilet. So, as I was saying, paradoxically, that cortisol and the cycle of chemical releases is something that you crave, because being on your toes, being in survival mode, keeps you in that heightened state, and because you do crash when you feel that emptiness, and it makes you think, oh, I love them, I miss them, because you feel so empty when it's not love that you feel for this person, and it's because it doesn't feel good to be with them. It's the thought of being without them and how you feel when you're without them and how bad that is. And that's not love. That's addiction. That terrible pain, the fear of abandonment, that's withdrawal. Yeah, so the cortisol is something that makes you feel horrible, something that is, always going to be there at some stage when you're being traumatized by your abuser. Okay. We've got Mike McLean is there. Hi, Mike. Mike says, sorry to go a bit off topic. That's okay, Mike. But I live in the US and I finally got my paperback of Fake Love this week. The long wait is over. Oh my goodness. Well, I am so happy that you finally got it. I don't know why the long wait, Mike. Was it through Amazon, or was it through another online store? Because it is available worldwide, guys. I'll put it in the comments now. Fake Love. Just look for Fake Love. I won't write it all. Fake Love by Nova Gibson. It's actually Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse by HarperCollins. It's available worldwide, guys, in all the big bookstores, in all good bookstores. I love saying that. So anyway, Amazon. Yeah, weird. I don't know why, Mike, but you can also get it in Audible, in Kindle. Many people are getting it in Audible, and they're saying it's having such an awakening in their life that they're going and buying the paperback as well, so they can highlight certain bits in it and have it as something that can keep coming back to. Because as I say in the intro, in the forward, this will be your Bible. This will be, in terms of narcissistic abuse, it's not a textbook. It'll be like your handbook, your recovery handbook, your validation handbook that you will go back to again and again and again. It'll be like your best friend when you've been or you are being abused by a narcissist. So please get your copy, guys. Available worldwide and published by HarperCollins. Yeah, and available in Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, everywhere, every country, you should be able to get it. Okay, so and also, Mike, everyone who does have Fake Love, if you've read it, please, if you want to do me a favor, I would simply love it if you could review it and rate it on Amazon or in Goodreads, on TikTok. If you can do a video on it on TikTok, and because Book Talk is just huge, the hashtag Book Talk at the moment. But it just puts it out there in the algorithm and helps more people, I guess, by knowing that it's there and that you're finding it so validating. So TikTok, Amazon, and Goodreads are the best places if you want to do me a favor and give it a rating and a review. Mike says he's a highlighter. That's why the wait is over, getting the audios. I'm so glad you've got it, Mike. Okay, don't forget to share, guys. And also, if you would like to have a one-on-one counseling session with me, that is actually my full-time job. I'm the director and principal counselor here at Brighter Outlook counseling service. And you can find the link to my website and a contact page on my website. Worldwide, I speak to people via Zoom. So please just message me, and I'd love to support you one-on-one in your healing journey. And also, don't forget to listen to my podcast. I'll put that in the comments too. Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. Okay. We've got Finding Freedom, Fighting Forward. What an awesome name. I love it. Says, do you have any advice on how to have a family violence order upheld in court when the NPD partner has contested it? He has completely flipped this script on me. So have a family violence order upheld in court. So he's contested it, which means, and correct me if I'm wrong. So what that suggests to me is that the order was granted because he can, or is he contesting a temporary order? Because normally they will give you a temporary order, then you'll have to go to court, and then hopefully if you get the right judge, unfortunately it depends on the judge on the day sometimes, but hopefully you get the order. Prior to that, typical narcissist will engage in a very intimidating cross DVO, which hopefully a good lawyer and a good judge will deem as malicious, vexatious, and throw it out. But if you're saying they're contesting it, yeah, I'm just curious as to whether they're contesting a temporary, or if you've actually got it. Because that, if they're doing that when you've already got the order, then they're really wanting to use the system to extend not that they don't do that every single time, but they're going back for seconds to extend the domestic violence by using the family court system if you've already got that order. So I'm going to pretend, and once again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to pretend that you haven't yet got the order. So how do you get that order? Lots and lots of evidence. Write the application. I always say this, and I say this in my book. I make it a point which is so important. Write the application yourself. If you've got a specialist domestic violence trained police officer there, that's great if they want to help you. But the reason I say to everyone to write it yourself is because you were there and you want this application, this order to have all of the emotion in it. You don't want a police officer just writing from a template. The defendant did this, and then the respondent came in and did this and this and this. And often that's what happens. And I hear so many of my beautiful counseling clients telling me about how their order was rejected or denied because it was just so, it was all the abuse in the relationship sounded so trivial. It was, the respondent went to one room, they put a hole in the wall in that room, and then the defendant or the, I can't remember what you call the victim, called the police, blah, blah, blah. I know that's really simplifying it, but you want to tell, you're not making anything up. You want to put in that application. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't sleep at night. I kept my children home from school. I had to go and see the doctor to get, something to help me with my anxiety, or a naturopath. I was I was in a constant state of panic mode. I was being triggered by driving because every time I went over a highway or through a tunnel, it just made me feel really confined, and I would have a major panic attack. And yes, I never had any black eyes, but say that unless you have to. But the feeling of having that glass whiz by my head, it produced all these emotions and feelings. Whatever happened, you want to tell it like it felt, and you don't want it to appear bland, as it sometimes does if that's a police officer. And I'm pleased if you're a police officer watching this. I also say this in my book. There's bad eggs in every profession. I think police too often get a bad rap. So there's bad people who abuse their power in every single profession, including counselors. My opinion is that most police officers do an amazing job, and they're underpaid, and they're under-respected, and they put their lives on the line every day. And this, what I'm about to say, is not their fault. They don't have enough resources, so they're being pulled in a million different directions. So they're not a lot of the time on top or really knowledgeable about domestic violence, and they've got to go with what they view as what should be a priority, which unfortunately is the person who's bleeding, broken bones, that type of thing. So sometimes, I hear of victims being talked out of getting a restraining order because it'll just be too much. They're unlikely to get it, and they're really not being, respected and supported as a victim. So, if two things: if you haven't yet got it, please write it yourself. Please ask to speak to, if they have one, a domestic violence specialist, and make sure you've got a lawyer whom you trust. Don't see or look at your abuser, and remember that narcissists are going to do, and this is true for any time, guys, that you are going to potentially see your abuser in court. And many of you have to go to family court, civil court. You have to see, or you expect to see your court see your court. See your abuser in court. But when I say see them, I want you to make sure you don't see them. And that's where you need a good lawyer, and you tell them, I don't want to, you depersonalize your abuser. They are my abuser. Obviously, they're not going to be able to put that in your affidavit, and they're not going to be able to label them or diagnose them. But and that's the same for you too. But let them do all the diagnosing and reap the rewards of diagnosing without having the qualification. But don't see them, and you shouldn't have to. Your lawyer should be able to put you into a room, if you make it clear that you're scared. A room on your own where they can tell you when your abuser has walked in, and you can sit in a different position in court. You take your whole family. If you're if you're one of those families where there's if you see 50, 100 people at Christmas time, and you've got an enormous family, if you can take the whole lot, you take every single one of them. You take, I know that's not going to be the case, but I really want to make it clear that you need to take your support system. I talk about this, I prepare you in my book for court, seeing the narcissist. If when you're thinking about maybe seeing them in the car park. Now, remember, they're going to do what narcissists do. They're going to lie. They're going to have, you're going to see an affidavit full of absolute BS, and everything is going to be flipped exactly what you said. You are going to be everything they are. They're going to project, and they're going to put their hand on the Bible if there's one there. And they're going to, swear or affirm to tell the truth, and then they're going to lie pathologically. They won't batter an eye. Their pulse won't change, because you have to expect they're going to do what narcissists do, and narcissists lie. So that's where you've got to have trust, faith in your lawyer and your evidence. Your abuser can call you crazy. They can tell the world you're an alcoholic, you're a drug addict, and they can diagnose you as a borderline. What else do they typically call you? As bipolar, all of these horrible names. They can tell the court that you believe still in the tooth fairy, and that you've got 10 personalities, and that they're never sure which one they're talking to. They can tell the court what they want, but they have got to be able to back it up with evidence, and they're going to have none. And if they have anything, it's going to be manufactured, or just a blatant lie. So that's where you've got to play detective. You go and get affidavits from all of your friends, from your loved ones, from the school, from your doctor, wherever you can get it. You are going to have evidence, but sometimes not sometimes, a lot, the abuser has conditioned their victims to fear that the residual effects of their abuse, e.g., your anxiety, PTSD, panic attacks, all of those kinds of things. They fear that those things will be used against them, when we know that those things are not the cause of the abuse. Those things are the result of the abuse. But of course, the narcissist will bring them up, and that's where your lawyer your barrister will jump in and will, cross-examine them. So, oh my goodness. So, you have done, made a few diagnoses here. What can you please show us where you got your masters in, psychiatry or psychology? They can't diagnose, and the court will really look down on them if they do that. And your lawyer, your barrister or will make that known to the court, but it will be obvious. So you have got to expect, when you've got court coming up, and every situation when you're dealing with a narcissist, really, that they're going to do what narcissists do. They are going to lie, and they're going to manipulate you. And no matter what is going on, whether they're, let's say, thinking of sitting down with you and writing out a parenting plan to avoid orders, to save on lawyers, that's to manipulate you when they're being nice as pie, because all you want is you want to heal, clearly, but knowing that this is happening, you want to be able to co-parent with this person, and that's impossible. They will make it impossible. You have to get lots of support to parallel parent with them. But they'll be nice as pie. Oops, you know what happened there, guys? They'll be nice as pie in the beginning, to manipulate you into doing a parenting plan, which is useless with a narcissist because it's not legally binding, and you end up going back to court anyway. You don't want to see them, you don't want to speak to them, parenting out, but they will talk you into a parenting plan. And what the very good faith decisions that you come up with that they agree with, but they'll all go out the window the second they know that you've given away seeking court orders. So, yeah, you've got to expect that they're always going to do what narcissists do, to lie, to manipulate. So, a good lawyer, prepare. I always say that to my clients, to make a list of the lies you expect the narcissist, your abuser, to say in court. You know what they're going to say. You know how they're going to flip it. And you and your lawyer, or you, go through the lies and prepare your responses to those lies. Then it takes the edge off being blindsided. You know that they know you, and from experience, you know what situations they're going to bring up and how they're going to flip the script. Predict their lies so you can work on your responses. And when you expect those lies, then it can take the power out of hearing them, because you know who and what they are, and you've had time to prepare. Yeah. So without knowing the full story, I hope that's helped, Aisha. That's a very long response from me there. But okay, who have we got here? Don't forget, guys, to get your copy of my book, Fake Love. I put the name of it in the comments, and also to listen to my live stream, my podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, here on YouTube, Spotify. And before you go any further, I'm going to ask you a favor, and that is to hit that subscribe button and the follow button and the bell, so you help to put this channel out there in the algorithm, and of course, so you never miss another live stream. Okay, so we've also got here today, gosh, YouTube's just making them fly away from me. We've got Authentically Mimi is there, and they say, I went into contact with my mother and it's helped save my sanity. Yeah, it's one of the hardest relationships to do, no contact, simply because there's that obligation and guilt, that comes from, this is your parent, and also society is chiming in. You can't leave your mother or your father. What if something happens to them? How will you feel then? And they put the burden, or they victim blame the victim, and they're just using the same techniques that your abuser did, which is to make you feel like you owe these people because they birthed you, and there's no debt to be paid with a loving parent. It's a reciprocated relationship full of love and kindness and genuineness and all those other amazing things. There's no debt there. There's always a debt that will never be paid with a narcissistic parent. But other people, well, number one, they don't often see the abuse. They see often the opposite. The image. Everything is about image to the narcissist and the narcissistic parent. So what everyone else sees outside the family doors is maybe the amazing mother or father who loves their children, would do anything for them. That's what they're portraying. And so you go to talk about your abuse or explain to others. And by the way, don't explain. It's none of anyone's business. If people make you feel bad for that, they're showing you they don't respect your boundaries. But the people who don't understand that, these people are not the people they pretend to be, and they make you feel bad about it, then they're part of the smear campaign. They're part of the problem, and unfortunately, your circle gets much smaller when you've been abused by a narcissist, because so many people believe the narrative that the narcissist is putting out there and have put that image out there, and that's all that anyone else sees. So going no contact is about self-care, and it's not about revenge or punishment, which others may tell you. And of course, the narcissist will make out that it is them giving you the silent treatment, you engaging in no contact, are two very different things. The difference is in the intent. And you go no contact to heal, to protect yourself, for your self-care, to survive. And when you do it from a parent, it is no light decision that you've made, and it's often after a lifetime of attempting to be who they wanted you to be and never getting there because they shifted the goalposts, and sick of feeling deflated and horrible every time you see them. You come away feeling worse because the exasperating, backhanded comments flow under the guise of caring, of course. You come away feeling just drained, and you dread seeing them. You go no contact, you heal, you get lots of support, and you start to get perspective. And once again, guys, I talk about this a lot in my book, Fake Love. I should have had one beside me, but I'll grab a copy and show you in a minute, because there's a whole chapter there on children of narcissists, adult children of narcissists, to help you validate your trauma, to go no contact, and to grieve the parent you never had and you never will have. And that's a hard road. People don't realize how hard that is and what a big decision that is. But I am so glad that you have contrast now and that you are feeling so much better. Yeah. Okay. Just answer a couple more questions, guys. Don't forget to share these live streams. Hit that follow, subscribe button for more. And let me know whereabouts in the world you're tuning in from. I love seeing where you're from, and just it's fun to see how far these live streams are spreading. And we've got Carolina girl is there. Hi, Carolina. They say, I have been lured in the past few months. Now I'm ghosted, so I'm a mess again. Oh my goodness, Carolina or Carolina. I'm not sure how you pronounce your name, but they're ghosting you. Number one, it's to punish you and to set you up to tolerate their abuse, because the ghosting, the silent treatment is horrific because of the trauma bond I talked about earlier in this video. It feels horrific, and they know this. So go back, watch this again later on when I talk about, and get my book. I talk about trauma bonding, and withdrawal pains, the addiction, so that when they set you up, that they ghost you, they give you the silent treatment, and you panic. If it's no different to a heroin addict being in withdrawal, and even before the full-on withdrawal has the pains have begun, you're in that heightened state, panicking about when you're going to get your next fix. So this is what happens. It's a setup when they ghost you, and you need lots of support. Once again, I'm a counselor working with victims worldwide via Zoom. So please reach out if you'd like to have a one-on-one session. You'll find my website in my bio, but please, if you can find the strength, and I know how hard this is, make this for the first time. Let it be on your terms, in terms of you're here, so you've recognized who and what they are. You've recognized the narcissistic patterns of behavior over space and time, and that they fit the bill. You're not going to get a diagnosis, and it's a label of someone who's toxic, who abuses you consistently. Let it be on your terms this time. You are going through the withdrawal, get lots of support whilst they have the power, because they call your bluff. You'll be waiting for them. They can go and do whatever they want. They can go and groom a new target, or see whoever they want, and they come back to you, and then they have even, I know how horrible this sounds, but they have even more contempt for you because you waited and they got to go and do whatever it is they wanted. And that's not your fault. That's the nature of this abuse. And also the nature of this abuse is that narcissist has nothing but contempt for their victims, because they can they let them, in the abuser's mind, abuse them, do what they want, treat them like garbage, and they come back for more. That's why they feel this contempt for their victims. And this cycle that you're in, I need to stress, is not your fault. And it doesn't matter how many letters we have after our name. This is not a matter of intelligence or weakness. This can happen to anyone. Judges, lawyers, doctors, social workers, psychologists, anyone can become a victim who is like you and is there when the narcissist comes back from their ghosting. But if you can get the strength and support, empower yourself and make it on your terms. Don't be there waiting. You block them everywhere. If they haven't already blocked you, prepare for the inevitable days, when the really bad low days, which essentially are cravings, when you're going to or your addicted brain is going to minimize the abuse. It really wasn't that bad. It was my fault. My anxiety has been playing up lately. All of these excuses our brain comes up with to make the abuse not as bad as it is, so we can have our drug back. Because the withdrawal, that's horrible. So your brain wants the drug back. I know that sounds really weird, but those are that's the reasoning. You will go, you will take on board, and once again, prepare, write it down. While you're feeling okay, write it down how you think your brain will go and why, when you're having a bad day. And a bad day is a craving. That's when you'll minimize the abuse. Why? Because you want that horrible withdrawal to go away, not because you love this person who's treated you so bad. And you're your craving will build and build and build, just like the alcoholic who can't stop thinking about picking up unless they perhaps got a sponsor and they cut that craving off at the pass and the sponsor talks them out of it. And that's the same principle that you will need to take on board when you're having a bad day. And now a bad day, a craving is you wanting to have a look at their Instagram, you having a look at the new Target's Instagram, seeing what they're doing, asking people what they're doing, looking at old pictures, which would be like a heroin addict, keeping their implements, their utensils lying around. These are all things you've got to prepare for. It's not going to be a linear journey, but I know that's a really hard task, but get lots and lots of support. But that if you can find the strength, all of you who are going through that at the moment, if you're being ghosted, which is about punishment, getting you to lower your boundary even more and raising your threshold for abuse even more, if that's you, or if they're I mean, the silent treatment ghosting it's abuse. Okay, it's so abusive. It destroys your self-worth. But everything they do is abusive. So, guys, prepare. It's going to be a journey, healing, but to heal, you have to get out of the environment and get perspective. You can't live next door or with your drug dealer, essentially. A drug dealer who does not want a paying client to get clean. They want to get you hooked back on the drug because that benefits them. So you've got to get out. You've got to get on the other side of the circle with lots of support, put it and build a fortress around you. Yeah. Okay. I think it's just about time, guys. I might just quickly answer one more question before we wrap it up for today, guys. But don't forget, I'm going to say this again, hit that like button. That's what puts this out in the algorithm. Please, and comment. Your comments are what puts it out there. So even if you just say, hi, Nova, this is my first time, then that is just huge. But yeah, please comment, just say hi or a thumbs up or something like that. It puts it out there in the algorithm. Okay. Okay, we've got one Paul Refagan, I think, is there. When we were on holiday for the first time, I was totally overwhelmed with a surprise shouting session. I fawned in that moment. When we got home, I took time away, and she turned full-on narcissist. Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. Yes, women can be narcissists too. We've got Destiny Blanco is there. Hi, Destiny. Thanks for joining. And thank you for commenting too, guys. The comments really, really help. But yeah, Paul, they love to ruin holidays because you're happy and your happiness makes them feel awful. And you'll never be on the same emotional playing field. If you're happy, then they're angry, irritated, agitated. So then they've got to bring you down by creating an argument, starting some kind of drama. And then their mood goes up. And of course, you're reacting to this manufactured situation. And then they're happy. They're calm and cool. And they engage in DAVO, deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender, and they use your reactions as the cause of or the reason that the holiday ended. and they love to do this in front of people. The the abuse, which was manufactured, always manufactured, will be very covert. They'll use what we call a dog whistle, which is where only you and the narcissist knows what's going on, but people who are around, they don't hear the abusive lines, comments that are barbed. Um, but they will that abuse, if it takes in front of people which they love, that'll be very covert, very passive aggressive, involving dog whistling. But when they get you to react and they're all happy because now your mood's gone down and you're angry, perhaps frustrated, crying, sad, they'll get you to react in front of an audience, just like on the movie Gaslighting. I mean, that's gaslighting. And that's what the abuser does to the victim in the movie Gaslighting. Please watch it, guys. Very old. Watch the one with Ingrid Bergman. That's the best. And you will react to the provocation. You will react on cue. And of course, if there's an audience, they only saw you react and that they never saw the lead up, or they didn't see the lead up. So, yes, they love to ruin vacations and Christmas time and birthdays. Any time where you're relaxed or you're happy, the same thing will happen. They will get agitated because you're happy, or there's happy people around them. So they have to destroy that. They'll even, I did a video on this, guys. You'll find it on my timeline, on all my socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I did a video on the fact that they will even go to the extent of ruining their own birthday. That they actually enhance their birthday by, in your eyes and everyone else's eyes, ruining it if they can see that it's bringing you joy. So the example that I use in my book, Fake Love, is when I talk about the abuser, Justin, okay, telling Sophie that he'd never had a birthday. No one had ever gone to that much trouble, and you seem a bit sad about this. So she wanted to surprise him and put so much effort into doing this. And she surprised him and invited all his loved ones, and he sabotaged it. He it caused an argument. He didn't talk to her all night. The next day, he said that it was a waste of money, a waste of time, and that she did invite the right people. Whatever he could say to ruin it. On the night of the party, he started a fight with Sophie. He triangulated her with one of her family members and caused a big family rift. He sabotaged his own birthday because he could see how much joy it was bringing Sophie. So it doesn't matter what the day is. But of course, holidays are a time where you expect to be happy, be having fun. And the narcissist, despite what they say, they have to have drama. There's no drama and there's just peace and harmony. Then they start to feel agitated. They need the drama, the attention going on. This is why you will find that drama and just that toxicity will just follow them everywhere. And yet one of their favorite lines is, I hate drama. And yet, when you get in a relationship with a narcissist, it never stops. You'll just have little tiny breaks from it. And then it will be drama. It'll be this roller coaster. And they teach you, they condition you to believe that this is your fault. But this is textbook across board, across every single relationship with a narcissist. They cannot be without drama, because that peace, that harmony makes them feel agitated, because there's no solid attention on them, and also because you're happy and relaxed in something that you don't need them for necessarily, and because you can be genuinely happy. And they have that pathological envy of people who can be happy, because they can't. They will never be happy. You think they'll be happy with the next person. They will just go through the same cycle like a shark, swimming around endlessly its whole life, looking for the next meal, smelling out blood. They will never be happy. But you will be, and you can be, and they know this, and they must destroy that to make themselves feel better, and of course to feed off your reactions and thoroughly enjoy your reactions when they flipped the script and now you're angry, you're upset because they ruined your holiday, they ruined this beautiful day or whatever it is, and you're going to react. And then they go, drama's back, and they keep that going until the cycle goes full circle. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say goodbye now, guys. Now, once again, before we go, I'm just going to say a few hellos. We've got change the rules code there. Hello. We've got Cheetah. Blige is there. Hi, thank you for joining us. Come back next time with more questions for me and talk to each other. These videos will be on the timeline forever. And we've got Ian Palmer is there. Hi, Ian. Millennial Gardener is there. And John Tonka is there. And also we've got Alison Krause and so many other people that I didn't get around to saying hello to. Comment hi in the questions. Give me a wave. Give me a thumbs up, anything. So, guys, on that note, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell. Hit the follow button so you get a notification around the next video. And I'm going to put the name of my podcast, which you can listen to, download anywhere. And it's called Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. Flying MONKEYS. Okay. And I'll put podcast so you don't get confused there with my book. The book is called Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. Now, I better hit play. If you would like also, guys, to have a one-on-one counseling session with me, you can see my my business logo in the corner there. Now, I am the director, principal counselor at Brighter Outlook Narcissistic Abuse Counseling Service. All my appointments are online via Zoom. No matter where you are in the world, please reach out. And of course, don't forget to get your copy of my best-selling book, Fake Love. Okay, guys, please share, and give me a wave in the comments. That's the best thing you can do to keep this channel going and moving. On that note, bye from me for now. I'll see you on the next video. See you later, everyone. And please, until the next one, have a narcissist-free few days. Bye.